Right. Within 72 hours, everything has changed upside down. A team that was looking jaded, worn out, has come back pretty strongly and made their way straight into the finals of the Asia Cup. You're talking about Team India, two brilliant performances over the past 72 hours, one against Pakistan and another against Sri Lanka. Well, we do have individual players to talk about, but it's a team game, and we will take the team into consideration first. To analyze and express their views, I'm now joined by my colleagues Praneeth and Shravanand. Let's go straight across to them. Let me begin with Praneeth first. Praneeth, 228 runs, a huge margin of victory. How do you see it? It was a brilliant performance, a complete team effort. Uh, do you think there were also some outside factors into consideration, some weather conditions, etc.? And what do you think that went absolutely right as far as India was concerned?
So, so we were thinking about in the preview. We were thinking about a lot of things, right? How would the middle order will do all those things? So, uh,
Yes.
KL Rahul and Virat Kohli uh, answered that really well. Like they didn't even give the
Right.
chance
Yeah.
for other players. And the
Yes.
last time we have seen a middle order batsman scoring a century was in 1 year back. Rishabh Pant scored that century. Like this was like we have seen that after a long time, and
Yes.
uh, and also we were having that expectations from middle order. Right, they need to build the partnership after a loss of early wickets. Uh, then build a partnership, then accelerate as they go on. That was one good thing from the batters and even openers from the previous match against Pakistan. So in the first match, they were looking very cautious, and uh,
Hmm.
it's okay to be cautious, but that doesn't mean that you need to go into the shell. And in the second match, they kind of changed their plans and prepared really well against Shaheen Afridi and Naseem Shah. So
Yes.
that made a huge difference, and you could see that in the uh, target which they have set.
Yeah, I mean, the way they were batting, I mean, especially Shubman Gill, he was taking a couple of strides towards Naseem Shah and playing those lofted shots. That was really interesting to see. I mean, a young boy with that much amount of confidence taking on. I mean, I wouldn't call Pakistan bowling an overhyped bowling because anybody can have that one game. They have proven in the past, but yeah, but there's one thing that is definitely that I would like to point out. When you get a full strength squad, whether it is Indian squad or Australian squad or New Zealand or South Africa, then you will be tested completely. So I think that wasn't happening against, I mean, with Pakistan, because the number of victories that they had were mostly against the amateur sides or the sides that weren't fully traveling to Pakistan for that matter. So, but yeah, this was a well prepared India, I would say, and some brilliant, like, captaincy decisions when it came down to bowling. I mean, KL Rahul, I mean, we were writing him off because he was coming after a long, long time, but what a comeback that was, Trevor. Straight away into the game, he got to know 5 minutes before the toss and to prepare mentally to get match ready and then to give that performance. That was something outstanding.
Yeah, he completely shut all the what do you say, shut all the analysts or shut all the criticism. Whatever the criticism he has been facing for a quite long of time now, that he won't, what do you say, he won't pressure and he won't perform under pressure, or he is not that much a fast scorer. Right? He just shut everything. And given that the little bit of time he got before the game, because Shreyas Iyer was in the plan, he was in the mix of playing 11, but suddenly he got a back-to-back and he was not there. So the team management took a call to include KL Rahul, and yeah, it was tremendous. And the way he paced his innings was even better, because after losing those two well-set batsmen, Rohit and Shubman Gill, the way they scored. then he came up with Kohli, and the way they stitched the partnership was even brilliant before the train break, and then they came after the next day. But still, the focus and the concentration level was something else. They just literally outplayed the Pakistan in Tuesday.
Yes. And I think,
And
yeah, sorry, go on. Pranay.
yeah, to add to that, like KL Rahul, uh, I don't think anyone had uh, doubts on his ability of scoring runs, ability to play, or the technique which he possesses, and all those things. The only thing which was a negative aspect of KL Rahul, even if you see when he got dropped off in the Australian Test series, before that he was a captain for the Bangladesh tour as a when
Mhm,
Rohit was not available.
mhm.
So even his facial expressions, decision as a captain, you could see he looks like a guy who is lost in woods, right?
Mm.
And whereas in the Pakistan game as a wicket keeper, he was guiding Kuldeep Yadav when
Yes,
with regards to length, uh, which length to
yes.
bowl, which
I
line to
heard
bowl.
him. I heard him for the first time, like standing behind the.
Yeah,
That was
standing behind
interesting.
the wicket. That was the first time anyone has heard him talking,
Yeah.
right? And also with DRS reviews, there was a conviction with him, like should we go for it or shouldn't we not? So, and in entirety, along with, he always had a good technique, but
Mhm,
his mindset kind of uh, changed because of this injury break and everything.
mhm, mhm. It never
So
looked like
that,
an injury break to me, very honest. I mean, the way he was stroking the ball, a couple of boundaries to Haris Rauf on the first day of the 2-day international on 10th, and then back on 11th, the way he was sweeping Iftikhar and Shadab, he never looked like he was as if he was out of form or out of the game for quite a bit. He was just absolutely middling everything that came his way. And the second biggest factor, Kuldeep Yadav, how important has he been? I mean, where was he for the past couple of years? Why was he not being played consistently enough? I mean, he was such a dream to see bowling, basically. Uh, Absolutely, I mean, marvelous. And Pakistan just couldn't pick him.
yeah, that's
Kuldeep
true.
has
Like
really worked
this,
on his bowling actually. He just started bowling a bit quick rather than a slow pace one, but he has started that. And also, he got an ample support from the captain and the keeper.
Yeah.
Even Pranay said that in Pakistan game also, Rahul was just keep on guiding him for the length and line he is bowling. Also in yesterday's game, Sadira Samara Vikrama's wicket. Before
Mhm.
that, Kuldeep was bit not flighting that much. Once KL Rahul and Kuldeep consulted a bit, he changed that, and Samara Vikrama came down the line and he was stumped. So
Mhm.
I think Kuldeep needs that little bit of push from the wicketkeeper. Also, the captain supported him really well. Whenever Kuldeep comes in, he just says slip and leg slip. Uh, he just came in the closing fielders in Pakistan game. I We can see that throughout the Pakistan innings, there were six fielders in the 30-yard circle, which makes life difficult for the batsman to rotate the strike. So that's where Kuldeep comes in very handy because when he came to bowl for a single batsman for a longer period of time, it will be tough for the batsman to score quickly.
and
Right.
also,
Mhm.
Kuldeep Yadav in the initial phase of his career, he was relying too much on his variations, right?
Mhm.
So even I think it was in the IPL only he gave an interview like he doesn't bowl too much in the net practices because he doesn't want people to figure out his variations. So he was kind of defensive in that mindset. Then later, I think from Kolkata Knight Riders to Delhi Capitals, uh, there was a change in coaching staff, change in approach. All those things kind of mattered in his overall bowling performance, and his career kind of took a upward trajectory from that.
True. True. So how do you? I mean, where do you think Pakistan lost the game? I mean, the counter attack by India in the very first power play, or bad captaincy, or was it just four batsmen coming hard at them? Or I mean, even when they came out to bat, they never looked like they had the intention to chase down the total or at least give it a try. They were pretty defensive in their approach, and that definitely gave an upper hand to the bowlers who were already defending a huge total anyhow.
Right, for
Of
me,
everything
it's
you have
the
mentioned.
it's the combination of everything. But where did it start? That's what you need to look, right. It's understandable that in first 10 overs batsmen go for runs because out of 30-yard circle there are only two fielders, and that's the phase you could cash in,
Hmm.
right. So but after the 10th over, I didn't see a single slip fielder uh,
Yes.
for the rest of the game. And where did Kohli get? And if you see Virat Kohli's wagon wheel, so most of the runs he got was in the behind the square area, like third man and backward point, that area. And in the first game, Virat Kohli got out because of the inside edge, right? So
Hmm.
that was also because there was a slip and all those things which made him tentative to play that shot, and he got out. But in this, there were no slip fielders or anything, so he was playing down the third man very easily without any
Yes.
doubts or all those
Yes.
things. So that was the starting point for me.
Right.
Yeah, Babar
So,
doesn't seem to have a plan B, I think.
yeah, looks like
He
it. Yeah.
starts with Shaheen Shah Afridi and Nazim Shah. He just straight away gives them ball for 10 overs. They will produce some two to three wickets. Then he will build up on something from there.
It looks
But
like a
they won't
template
give
for
you.
them, basically. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
template written on a piece of paper. 5 overs to
Yes.
Shaheen, 5 overs to Naseem, and then you bring on Rauf, and then you bring on somebody else. So, I mean, you don't see instinctive decisions by Pakistan. All right. For example, I'll cut across straight to yesterday's game. Sri Lanka were chasing a total. There was a partnership in play. All right, we'll talk about it at a greater length, but just to point out and draw an analogy with Rohit Sharma, Kuldeep had bowled 9 overs. He kept 1 over of Kuldeep for the very end, just in case a wicket falls. Then Rohit knew that if I can just give that 1 over to Kuldeep, the other two wickets were there for the taking, and Kuldeep can just come in and bowl at them and then just knock them over. So that is a proactive captain would do, but that is something I don't see from Babar too often. I mean, now he's been there at the helm for about 3 years, so it's time he learns that art how to rotate his bowlers basically. So we also saw that in the first game on 2nd of September when Pakistan played India, when 66 for four, and he gave it to spinners, and uh, they took a beating basically. Shravanan, go on.
Yeah. He is not thinking, you say instinctively, but he is just looking at how I'm going to finish off 50 overs. Even in the
Hmm.
yesterday's game or the day before yesterday, Harris Rock was not able to bowl because of his shoulder injury, and that has gone to his mind, like from whom I'm going to get those 5 overs, the remaining 5 overs from Harris Rock. So he just straight away went into Iftikhar Ahmed. Instead, he should go for a kill, because if you get the wickets of KL Rahul and Virat Kohli at that point of time, it could have made life difficult for the Indian batters, because the lower middle order is not that much tested again. Jadeja is not that much scoring, and Shardul Thakur is there. So he could have gone for that. Even Wasim Akram in the commentary was literally begging someone go and said to Babar, put a slip there. At least just to make things difficult to score.
Hmm.
As Pranit said, Virat Kohli was just he is just waving his bat and getting those singles, and in no time Virat Kohli got his 50. He is not
Yes.
look like that he is crashing everything, but he just rotated the strikes, and he just does as what Virat Kohli used to do back in the day.
And
Also,
exactly,
yeah,
I mean, that's what Wasim Akram was saying. He was begging, like Sarvanan said, like, why do you need a deep mid-wicket fielder when he's playing in the third man and backward point region? So put that guy on the slips. That would at least create a doubt in Virat Kohli's mind to play that shot. So all those things
playing in
were
a
there.
short third, or put three fielders in that behind square area, make something. He has to do something different, right? But he didn't try to do that. And on top of that, he just took off Nazim Shah, who is still bowling well even under the the pitch was under the cover, so it had some juice in it. And Nasim Shah was bowling well, and he took him off of that touch, and he brought in Niftika Ramal, who is a part-timer. So he is pretty defensively going, and also he don't have that plan B when things not going right. What should they do? Even Shadab Khan also is not helping him. He is the vice skipper, uh, but there is no perfect leader in the team. That's what I thought when Babar is not playing.
True, true, true. Moving on, that is 228, the margin of victory, so no complaints there. Uh, Yesterday's game, I mean, Vela Lage was outstanding. Uh, a game before you score 357, and the next game, I know the wicket was a huge factor. Somebody as young as Vela Lage coming out from the shell and then performing like that to take five of your top wickets and put you under pressure. And you come back strongly with your bowling lineup and you win it. I mean, to me, it was the most complete performance by an Indian team in the last 2 years. Why? Because as a team, we looked pretty united. I mean, I don't mean to say that we weren't there, we were there, but the intensity and the celebration was back in this Indian team. So that actually made me a little more prouder for the fact that this team is actually seem to be ready for the World Cup now. More than the Pakistan game, this game gave me a lot of confidence actually because I don't know, Pakistan game was a bit on and off, and I played over 2 days. Maybe players were caught up by what I couldn't figure that out, but the intensity this game had, a low score match with just 213 on the board. Sri Lanka trying to go for it and then losing out a few wickets. And then there's a partnership, a couple of them basically, and then the bowlers coming back and uh, bowling them out. So I could sense that intensity is back into the Indian squad, which was there during the time of Virat Kohli. So that gave me a lot of confidence that this team is gonna do some wonders now, getting into the final of the Asia Cup and in the World Cup. What did you guys feel yesterday after the match or during the last phase of the match?
So, like you said, there was that intensity. Like for every wicket, every bowler was going for it. They weren't giving any looseners or whatever looseners to the batsmen. They were making the batter's life really hard, and also they were fighting for defending that total, which you saw that missing in that Nepal game, right? And that's what we were hoping for. And all the time, it's not like in 2019 World Cup, it's just that batters were bailing us out,
Yeah.
and we were just kind of relying way too much on them to make to chase the targets or set up high scores. But based on these two games, it felt like okay, even if batters don't give enough targets, bowlers have a capability of defending those runs. We can rely on them. Like think about, I can take you back to 2003 World Cup. Like Australia was the complete team, and
Yes.
they had couple of games which was really low scoring, like
Yes.
against
Again,
New
England.
Zealand,
England
against
also.
England also, and New Zealand also, where they lost. Shane Bond kind of took early wickets at the start, and Andy Bickle kind of gave them a respectable total of 210 or something like that. And bowlers came and defended that. So that is the confidence you need from the team. Like okay, even if batters have a bad day and they give target like 210, 220, we have a capability of defending. So yesterday, I had that assurance from the team.
Mhm. So 13,000 runs to Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma's 10,000. How do you guys see it? I mean, I've been watching these guys for last. I've been watching Virat Kohli since 2007, and Rohit Sharma equally from that time to 2006 onwards, I guess, when he played that Under 19 World Cup. So it's been close to 2 decades now. So how do you guys rate their performances, and what do you what do you think is left for them to achieve in the future?
They are our batting starters. There is no doubt in that. And the the performance is much needed from them also. For us, for in the team point of view also, their performance is in due because before COVID, Rohit and Kohli were hitting centuries for just fun. Post COVID, there was a dip in their form. They were not that old Rohit or Virat, but they are coming into the groove now, and that also in a right point of time. And in
Mhm.
this World Cup year, it's just around the corner. The World Cup is around the corner, and we are just getting into that. And yesterday's win is just a statement. I would see like this because it was a complete performance. If we left out Pakistan game, this one was a complete game. The team just played tremendously well. Right from the start, Rohit and Gill, they gave that another good opening partnership. 10 over 65 for no loss. It was a good one on the track. But once spinners came in, they ran riot, especially LLRB. He was completely like what Ajanta Mendis done in his debut series against us. I just got a glimpse on what LLRB could be doing. So even though the batting was a little bit of concern on but the pitch is completely turning square. So still Ishan Kishan, KL Rahul, Akshar Patel, he was really played
I
well.
think it was
He
Akshar's
expanded with
knock
the
that set the tone for India. I mean, those 26 runs were way too crucial. I mean, obviously, the partnership, because we were 80 for, we scored 80 runs in the 11 overs, that set the tone to reach 200. Had we been 35 or 40 or something, right, then reaching that 200 would have been absolutely difficult. So, the Rohit inning and Akshar's inning right at the very end, these two knocks proved to be vital towards reaching that total, and that kind of helped us to get over the line. What do you think,
yes.
Praneeth?
Yeah, that's true. Uh, for me, uh, think about Sri Lanka's innings for the first 10 overs. They scored I think 30,
What
39 runs for first 10 overs.
Yeah,
That was the difference, right? Uh,
yeah,
39 runs and 80 runs for in the sorry 65 runs in first 10 overs. That was the basically that was the difference between winning and losing for Sri Lanka.
true.
And at the same time, uh, if you heard Marwan Atapattu's commentary, he was saying get them all out under 200 190 in
Mm.
190s, because he was saying that there's a huge difference between 199 and 201 because of that. When someone
Psychological.
crosses 200, it's the psychological pressure which adds onto the team. And the last wicket partnership, I think the partnership was for 28 29 runs, where
27, yeah, 27.
Siraj, unlike the way he plays, he
Yeah,
played in a matured way
yeah,
rather
yeah.
than throwing a wicket. So that's what we were concerned about, right? Like once Siraj comes, he's just a walking wicket. He will just throw it away, right? And also a lot of people were saying after Pakistan game that why do you need uh, extra batter? Why don't you go with a out and
Hmm.
out bowler? So these matches kind of remind us, buddy, we need an extra batter in the lower order, right? Either it's Akshar or Shardul. So uh, yes, there are some concerns with the way we played against spinners. I hope these guys work it out, because the initial matches in the World Cup, the first match against Australia is in Chennai. Again, that's a spinning wicket. The
Uh-huh.
next match is in Delhi against Afghanistan,
That is going to be.
against the likes of Rashid Khan, Mujibur Rahman, and Mohammad Nabi. And
Oh,
even in
they will also play Noor Ahmed. They have
Noor
kept
Ahmed, yeah, yeah, yeah.
they have kept him under the wraps because they have a strategy, because they don't want him to be revealed, like, to the world out, to the rest of the world out there. So they will throw him as a surprise element against all the teams. Basically, he's just played for Gujarat for now, so he's going to come out as a big surprise. And he's a left armer as well, just like Velalage, Kuldeep. So he's brilliant actually. So it's going to be interesting times to see how other teams pick him on turning tracks. Afghanistan, in my opinion, will cause a couple of upsets in this tournament.
And also, if you've seen yesterday's game, uh, Travis Head, Travis Head was the one who gave initial breakthroughs. He could be really handy in Chennai wicket as well. Travis Head or Maxwell, along with Adam Zampa. So
Yeah.
India needs to figure out how to tackle against spinners rather than it felt like okay pitch conditions were that way that uh, Indians didn't have clue of what they are supposed to do, and at the same time there wasn't much time to prepare for the Sri Lankan team. Like since after the Nepal game, India was focusing on how to play against Pakistan, right?
So,
And then
so
right after that, without any uh, break,
Off.
you are playing Sri Lanka, and all of a sudden you're faced with a new bowler who hasn't played international series. So
true.
all those factors are there. I hope India kind of works on those things before the World Cup.
So who do you think would make it to the finals, Pakistan or Sri Lanka?
Uh,
Obviously, Sri
I
Lanka.
think it's Sri Lanka
Because of
Too
this
many injuries are
spinners
there
they
in
have?
Pakistan.
because of the spinners they
Injuries
have,
happen for
and
World Cup.
on
And I don't think it's going to be any different wicket than what they offer to India. They know that Pakistan are struggling against spin. They know that Pakistan don't have a middle order, and they also know that they don't Pakistan don't have spinners, right? So
Yes.
they have everything to play for basically. So it's going to be a similar wicket that they will throw in the match against Pakistan, and I don't see Pakistan to be performing quite well on that, to be very honest. Because if you see Babar's record against spinners, uh, it's not pretty impressive. He can't read googly. This is what the popular opinion is, and also their middle order. I mean, I don't see Iftikhar. Can he pick Kuldeep? He didn't. Uh, then will he be able to pick Vela Lage or not? Will the other batters in the middle order will be able to pick Vela Lage or not? That is going to be interesting to see. So I think it's going to be a 60-40 affair. Just in case if Sri Lanka mess it up, then we don't know. But looks like it's going to be 60-40 in favor of Sri Lanka from my side. What do you think, Shravan?
Yeah,
but
I would say that uh, complete advantage for Sri Lanka only because Harris Rav
Uh-huh.
is not going to play anymore in the Asia Cup, and Nazim Shah is having some injury concern, and also Shaheen Shah Afridi injured his left hand. That's it. So the main aces of Pakistan is not well, and there's a bright chance that any two of them are not going to play tomorrow. So
Naseem and Aris are out of
anyway,
Asia
Sri
Cup,
Lanka
right?
have an advantage. Yeah, yeah. Sri Lanka completely have an advantage on this. Also, they have all the bases covered. They have an off spinner. They have a what do you say, left arm spinner, and Afsalan Tahir, in what they can put him in, and he's also there. Padirana and another Rajida is there for to cover the pace bowling attack also. So I think they have the bases covered. Even Imam Ulak is the only informed batsman for Pakistan, but still he is also not having that much area in the batting. So I think Pakistan will have a very tough chance to win this match. Also, the run rate was dented. Given this weather conditions, also if the match was called off, then it would be India versus Sri Lanka.
And also, uh, Pakistan, like Sharvanan said that Naseem Shah and
Uh-huh.
Haris Rauf are out of Asia Cup, so they will bring in Shahnawaz Dani and Mohammad Wasim, if I'm not wrong.
Wasim
I
Jaffer.
think that is going to be the case if they reach. No, it's not Shahnawaz Dani and Zaman Khan who have been asked for as replacements, but Mohammad Wasim Jr. is already sitting in the squad, so
Hmm.
he may get to play the next game. So if they reach finals, then there's a probability that Zaman Khan or Shahnawaz Dani, one among these two, would play. But they do
Hmm.
have player in the squad, so I do see a change in the middle. I do see Saud Shakil coming in place of Iftikhar maybe, or
Sorry,
in place
Salman
of
Aga.
No, Salman
in
Aga.
place
Salman
of
Aga.
Salman Nawaz. Yeah, sorry. So that change could be possible. So let's wait
And
and see.
hmm. and also for them that would strengthen their middle order by bringing Saud Shakil in. So for me, again, Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. For me, Saud Shakil is the key.
Mhm.
If
Yeah,
he plays,
it looks like it
if he
because he
plays,
tackles the spin really well. I have
hmm,
seen that test series against Sri Lanka
Test series
recently.
against Sri Lanka,
He
yeah.
played really well against Spain. But again, look, it's going to be a completely different ball game because a player has been sitting out. But again, we wrote off KL Rahul because we expected him to take a couple of games before he gets back into the groove. But how well has he performed since the time he has joined the team? So you never know. Uh, Players who are desperate to perform, who are willing to perform, can just come into the squad and hit the ground running from the moment they are given the opportunity. So never know. Let's hope we get a game. That's the most important thing, and it's not a washout. And then we have India versus Bangladesh probably. So we'll have another session before that game pops up. And anything more that you guys want to add in before we close it out?
We can talk about Hardik Pandya's bowling, the
Oh
way
yes,
he bowled in these two games.
yes. I mean that wicket to get Babar, that
Wow,
was an
that was
absolute
good.
peach of a delivery. I mean, you okay? I think he set him up really nicely. He was actually two balls straight and then one nip back in, and then it came sharply, maybe 1.7 degrees or something. It came really
Hmm.
sharp and took his wickets. What do you think?
That's true. Yeah, like the way Hardik Pandya bowled, we were not, we didn't have much expectations on him, right?
Yeah,
We were like, okay, he will give some breathing space to other bowlers. He would be someone who will block one end rather that where he doesn't give too many runs, and he would be the economic bowler. Like
yeah,
see yesterday's match, we are talking about Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav, all these guys did the good bowling, but Hardik Pandya was a silent hero. He didn't. He, I think, he took only one wicket, if I'm not wrong. But
Diksha.
still, he, uh, because of his bowling, not giving any runs, that kind of created a pressure and induced false shot from De Silva, and
yes.
so that was a good thing. And even uh,
And the good thing about Hardik is he he bangs the ball, and
huh,
he has those variations wherein he pitches one up, then he goes one shot. So he cross seam, one going slanting away from the batter, one coming back in. So he is on when on song. He's pretty difficult to predict. What's gonna come your way. So
right.
that is something when Hardik Pandya is bowling, India looks completely a different outfit when as against to when he's not bowling, right? And you saw that in this tournament. Hardik Pandya, Jadeja, Kuldeep, everybody on song, and obviously you have the cushion of Jasprit Bumrah now, who has been a revelation since he has come back. Two absolutely magnificent spells against Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So you see a completely different bowling unit now as compared to maybe 6 months back. Though we were not faring that poorly because Shami and Siraj had stepped up and stuff, but Jasprit Bumrah brings in a different class basically. So you saw everything all the box ticking in now. Fielding has gone up a notch. Slip catching has been brilliant. We saw Shubman and Rohit uh, pull out some of the really good catches. And the batting, all the six batters now have got the taste of runs. So I don't see anything. Obviously, there will be room for improvements, to be very honest. But the momentum has got onto the team now. So I see them as favorites for the Asia Cup now, and we'll see how it goes from there on. I mean, especially after the Australia series, we can gauge the team in a better way if as to where we stand in the World Cup rankings.
That's true. Yeah. Like also, Hardik Pandya is in that mindset that he wants to bowl 10 overs. Right.
Yes.
He's not like, "Yeah, I'm going to bowl 4 5 overs, so I have to from ball number one have to go with that intensity." So even in yesterday's game, in the first spell, he was bowling in 120, 125 wala speed.
Hmm.
Then in the second spell and third spell, uh, he was touching 140. Right.
Yes.
So he has realized that okay, initially I need to start slow,
Hmm.
then I can pace, uh, I can increase the intensity, so in that way I can ensure that I can give 10 overs each game. So that's also one positive thing for Hardik Pandya. and also for the team, because if he can give 10 overs on a regular basis,
That's like
that's
gold
really
dust.
great,
I
right?
mean,
Gold dust, absolutely,
yeah,
yeah.
true. Shravan, your closing points.
Yeah, similarly to Pranit and you said, but yesterday's game was a complete game, right? It had everything, right from the batting, bowling, fielding. There was some room for improvement, but still the way we played, that was very fulfilling to
We
me.
didn't
Even
give up
though
actually.
if we
That
had
was the
lost the
most
game,
important
yeah, if we
point.
had lost the game, still I would be saying that this is the team I want,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
the way we
exactly.
played, here and there one or two chances, if
That happens in the
they go
game.
steady, yeah, it might happen, but still the way they played, that is what more important.
True.
I'm really fulfilled with the victory yesterday. Also, Hardik Pandya's bowling has given a what do you say? It gives freedom to captain like Rohit Sharma, because when Kuldeep was bowling really his heart out, but still he's not getting wickets that time. Then Rohit switched with the plan B, like getting Jadeja and Hardik Pandya into the attack, and they just what do you say? They just minimize the run flow, and that made the Dhananjay Diswa to play that fall shot. Unless until he won't play that, because till that point they were in a very good mindset. Even though Indian players are just sledging them, they just want to make their concentration go away, but still they were just nudging the ball and just going off the crease. They are not seeing any Indian players. Still, Indian players doing the trash talking. They were not even giving any eye contact also. So they were very concentrated till that point. Once Hardy came in and bowling those angle towards the left-hander, and that way Dhananjay Diswa thought, okay, we should finish this as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gone, then it's just a cakewalk for India.
It was just, yeah, it was
Kuldeep,
brilliant captaincy, like, just to keep Kuldeep one over and then bring him back on against the tail and then just
yes,
whack the tail off. Simple.
that just wrapped up the game for me.
Yeah. All right, so that's the time we have for today's episode. It's been quite a time with close to 40 minutes. Do join us again before India play
Yep.
Bangladesh. We will try and preview that game, and we will have a potential finalist who will take on India in the finals. So we'll talk about those two games, and we will see how it goes. Thank you for joining us. Do like and subscribe our efforts, and see you on the other